Hello guys, it's Edwin here, and I hope you are having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be addressing a concern by someone. I think it was a Facebook group. Someone said that all these labels, anhedonia, alexithymia, oh, numbness, like all these labels, like they're just traps. Like they were like, and then they were like, our grandfathers who used to work hard, and they didn't have these labels. They were just resilient beings. So I feel that these labels are just things which psychologists or mental health professionals come up with just to take money from our pockets. Actually, these are very wonderful concern, and I want us to explore together. So stay tuned. So something about labels. It doesn't matter what the label is or what the condition is. Something about labels is first I'll talk about the positive side, and then I'll talk about how it really keeps people stuck. Yes, labels are just descriptions of something you are experiencing. So now, for example, a label like anhedonia, it's a description of an experience you're having. It's just a description. And when you find a name for that which you are experiencing, initially you will find this sense of belonging. Actually, that's the first sign. Like you will find this sense of belonging or this relief that at least I'm not alone. So this sense of belonging may do a couple of things in your life. It may give you hope that I'm not weird after all. This is something which other people experience, and it may give you hope. So it means that I'll overcome it, right? It may give you hope. But now, what mostly happens is like people keep this label or stick to this label, and it builds up to victimhood. Like instead of seeing the label as just a description of an experience you are having, you start seeing it as you, and you start seeing it as your permanent state. And that's where your mind, or that's what your current state of mind wants you to be. When you see a label like an hedonia, and you see it, you develop fast, you get a sigh of relief, right? But after that sigh of relief, the more you keep sticking to that forum, sticking to those people who have the same experience, the more you end up feeling like a victim. The more you end up reading about people who've been with this condition for 10 years, 20 years, and the more you read that, let's say you've read this condition for 2 years, the more you read about people who've tried everything. Of course, there's never such a thing as tried everything. Never. There's never such a thing like I have a anhedonia and I've tried. No, they have never tried everything. It's not possible to try everything in this world. But the moment you will read those stories of people who've been stuck in forums for 20 years, you'll end up developing this negative condition that actually this condition is permanent. You may even study a lot of research papers, a lot of peer-reviewed articles on anhedonia, and now talking about it as a state where like it's not possible to overcome. But you see, all those things are just statistics. They normally say like 90% of people have been having it for 20 years, and then 10% have been able to overcome it. But you see, something about statistics and these whole aspect of mental health is like you are not a statistic. Like you will see the failures or the people who've not been able to overcome, and then you will see it as like a self-fulfilling process depending on how you perceive life. Because someone with anhedonia, you always have this negative connotation towards life. Like the pleasant sensations are something far away there. So you will end up choosing the path of just feeling that this thing is a permanent state for you. And the moment you keep taking that forum and seeing the results of others, you'll think that it's not possible to overcome. So, yes, labels, especially following on the negative side, can keep us stuck because it ends up tying us down to other victims who are stuck on this in this state for a very long time. But now this person was saying like, why is it that our grandparents were hardworking, they were so resilient, and they didn't have all these labels, and they were okay? So that's actually also a valid point. Like to them, they didn't have much exposure to the internet, much exposure to these drugs, much exposure to these things which gives us highs and lows. They just hit the basic. Let's say they were drinking some alcohol, they used to work hard, so they used to embrace life from this human resilience aspect. But nowadays what we do is we embrace it from this negative aspect of like mental illness and mental health. So it's a very, very different tune. So labels, if the best way to use labels is like, see it as what it is. It's just a label, but not you. See it as an experience. Let's say if you have anhedonia, you're not even supposed to call yourself anhedonic, because you're just supposed to say that this name describes my experience, but I am not anhedonic. That's a very, very different set, because the moment you describe yourself as anhedonic, you are picking up that identity. And any identity is like a name. It becomes really hard to change, because an identity offers you some sense of protection. And an identity is like just it's an ego actually. Like, and once the ego is in place, it will always seek that self preservation. It will not want to stop being it, because it's now finding a sense of safety in it. And when your mind finds a sense of safety in a label, it becomes a challenge in overcoming it. You'll now start looking for coping mechanisms for that label. It's like now you are building a house on top of a false foundation. But the whole point of studying, the whole point of challenging your condition is like understand that you are not that condition. It is just a description of your experience. Those are separate things. Even that small thing, just seeing it as actually, yes, before this time I felt lost, but now I have this time. I am not it. It's just an experience, and I'm able to overcome it. That gives you a feeling of hope and a feeling of like, it gives you a feeling of like you don't really need much. You just need to focus on the experience. Focus on the experience, and even you may end up going to the other side of understanding human resilience. Yeah, this also means that that's why like I also encourage people to, especially people who've been stuck in studying their own condition, to kind of step away a bit. Like step away is let's say if you've been used to studying mental health or psychology, and then you have anhedonia, step away and start studying something about human resilience. Like start reading a book different from what you are currently studying, because the more you study about your condition, the more you end up feeling stuck, the more you end up reading the worst case scenarios. And because you are used to negativity, or because you are carrying a lot of pain inside you, the pain will keep attracting more pain, so that it can label you as this victim who's unable to, who will not be able to overcome their condition. That's how the mind works. The mind will look for ways. It's so conniving and sneaky. It will look for ways to keep you stuck where you are. It will not look for ways to kind of overcome your condition. No, the mind doesn't work. The mind is just this accumulator. It will accumulate one article from this expert, one video from this person, one video from this person, one video from the person, so that it can keep you stuck where you are. But by seeing that and accepting that, actually, I've been stuck in this rabbit hole for a very long time. In fact, let me stop studying this thing and seek help. Yeah, seek help, and just innocently seek help. You realize that actually you're not that stuck. So, yeah, I do agree. Like labels, all these labels are traps and can create this aspect of victimhood, to the point where we don't even understand and we don't even appreciate the whole aspect of human resilience. Because human beings, we are very resilient. We always find our ways to survive. We've had wars, we've had all those things, but we still find ways to survive. There are remote tribes which still do hunting and gathering. They still find ways to survive. That's how we are built. But sometimes by sticking so much to your phone, or by just being on your phone and being just putting everything in your mind, you end up just staying in that room, not walking or not taking a walk, taking those drugs, and then you end up just feeling that you are very, very helpless. But by getting out there more, learning, if it's learning, like do diverse learning, read about even something positive, like something like human resilience. At least there's a part of you which may see like, actually, what am I doing? I'm not that lost after all. Hope that makes sense, guys. So that comment was actually very good. Like, these labels can be entrapping. Yes, I use them, but I understand that it's just how to express something. But beyond the expressions, even when I'm working with my clients, I always challenge even if a client comes to me and tell me that I'm an hedonic, I'm a daydreamer, that's the first place we start. Like, hey, you're just a human being who's having an experience. Who's just a human being who's addicted to this. You're just a human being who has a low capacity of emotions. So the moment you start there, at least it makes things lighter, because an identity is like a name. It's like fixed. So working with someone, you will challenge that thing which they think is fixed. And you realize actually, you realize that after even just one call, like, actually I'm not that stuck. The fact that I've been able to live with this condition for 20 years, I've been able to work, take care of my kids, I've been able to even climb mountains, I've been able to do all these things. Like, simply means that maybe I'm not seeing it from another perspective. Because the fact that you can stay with a condition for 20 years, it simply means that you are so resilient. Like, there's a lot of good happening in your life. It's just that you are not seeing it. You are so glued to your condition. You are so glued to your identity. You are not able to see the whole spectrum of life. It's very simple. Because how can you be emotionless and then live 20 years, 30 years doing everything? Like, you are eating, you are taking care of yourself. You may not be taking care of yourself 100%, but you are doing something. So you're not seeing that. You're just seeing the other side of, like, you're emotionless. No. Start seeing your life beyond the label. Start seeing and appreciating your resilience. Start seeing the amazing things you are doing in life. It can be very small. You don't need to have an emotion to start seeing. You just see it. Like, hey, I'm waking up, I'm sleeping, I'm taking a walk. Like, just see those things. Don't put emotions of, like, I have to be excited. No, that will keep you trapped. Just see it, write it down, and just leave it slowly by slowly. And also give yourself a break from this mental health thing stuff. Slowly by slowly, you start experiencing life. Hope that makes sense, guys. Hope that's encouraging enough. Feel free to share your views. Until next time, have a nice day.